This movie Fabricated City is about a man who is framed for murder and struggles to clear himself. This is Commander Kwan, who is leading his agents in the middle of a battlefield. Taking the scared agent, he jumps out of the exploding battleplane and rushes into the enemy camp. He goes upstairs alone and handles enemies. When one of his agents gets shot in the middle of enemies, the others tell him he's hopeless, but Kwan jumps in there to help him. As confronting enemies alone by himself is too much, he finally gets shot in the head and dies. Then he starts eating cup noodles, because he just died in the game he was playing. His old game members thank him for his sacrificing and making them win, for which they want to have a party celebrating their victory, but he has no money because he's been out of work for long, so declines it saying he's busy. Again, concentrating on another game, someone's phone rings on the floor, which he receives. The caller wants him to bring her the phone for $300, and though annoyed, he accepts it for the money. Arriving at the caller's place, he sees the door open and the caller taking a shower. He tells her that he's brought her phone and she lets him take the money on the bed on the second floor. The next morning, the police barge in his house and handcuff him, saying he's under arrest for rape and murder, when he sees a bloody knife on the floor, which he doesn't recognize. He makes headlines because he was a national taekwondo athlete, and plenty of hard evidence such as his sperm and fingerprints proves he's guilty. His mother, believing he would never kill anyone, begs a public defender Chun Sang to take on her son's case. But the evidence overwhelms against him, so he's sentenced to life imprisonment in maximum security prison. As there has been the media circus surrounding his case, he gets every inmate's attention, especially a gang leader Deok-soo. He has Kwan get down on his knees and starts to make fun of him, which makes Kwan furious. Bumping into his head, Kwan knocks him down and gets beaten up by the others. Waking up, Deok-soo punches him without a break, but when the guards come, he plays the victim, saying he got hit first and showing his bloody nose, so Kwan is held incommunicado for 30 days. Deok-soo even has him raped by another inmate, so he tries to kill himself. After that, his mother visits and says she has found a person to prove his alibi, so he must hang in there at any cost not to die as a rapist, after which he changes. Though he is still beaten up, he eats much and trains himself to gain strength. Suddenly, an old man known as a serial killer approaches him, and says he knows Kwan's innocent, but unfortunately he hurt Deok-soo's pride. He teaches him how to make and use weapons to survive, with which he knocks him down again. One day, his lawyer visits him alone, and says his mother killed herself, and he's not allowed to attend the funeral by the authority. As he seems to have lost all the energy, Deok-soo has his men hold the guards and tries to stab him, and then Kwan slashes his face, and shouting, stabs himself. Actually, to escape, he got Deok-soo to try to kill him, and stabbed himself in the way not to hurt badly, which the old man taught. As he beats up the guards, the car flips over and he escapes. He's put on the wanted list throughout the country and makes headlines again, so it's hard to run away. Then spotting a foreign couple struggling with their car, he fixes it and gets a ride. At the airport, they say as they got the car for next to nothing and will leave for another country, he can have the car if he wants. He drives to the lawyer Chun Sang's office. When he asks Chun Sang about the person who has his alibi, Chun Sang says it was a false report, which made his mother despair and kill herself, and gives him the necklace his mother used to always wear. Then hearing police sirens which Chun Sang called, he escapes out of the window. He Googles his case in the internet cafe, but soon the computer freezes, and a video about his case pops up, which is written that it was made by Mr. Harry, one of his game members. It says that the surveillance footage of the victim's house was deleted except when he goes in and out, and there's a dashcam footage of another man's car, which shows he stayed in the victim's house for 3 minutes 16 seconds, which is impossible to rape someone twice and stab 31 times as reported, but it was ignored by both the police and the press. Besides, the victim was recorded on surveillance cameras in a nightclub 2 days ago before being killed, who met some man and went out, but he wasn't questioned by the police not even once. Just then, the video stops and Mr. Harry tells him to run away and come to a coffee shop. He breaks the owner's phone, who is about to call the police, and gets out. He finds the coffee shop and sits in the corner, anxious. Then the phone of the coffee shop rings and the clerk looks for Commander. He goes and receives the call but it's cut off soon. Getting back his seat, he's surprised to see a woman across from him. She gives him a phone, which rings and the caller is Mr. Harry. When he answers the phone, the woman says she is Mr. Harry and has been using an app to disguise her voice. She takes him to her place, which is isolated, so has no surveillance cameras around. Her room is filled with so many computers and strange machines because she is a hacker. Suddenly, the bell rings and Kwan freaks out, but it is a bag of rice delivered, which he pours into a big pot. She makes him a meal, which makes him cry, because he hasn't eaten a decent meal for so long. After a while, several people come into her house, calling him Commander. These are his game members, who have gathered to help him. This one is Master Yang, a computer service technician, another is Demolition, a special effects technician, and the other is Negative Space, an architecture professor, who says cover and concealment couldn't make it today. Mr. Harry has studied all surveillance footage around the scene, and found the footage tampered to show a truck for an hour, which means the truck moved to another place. Quan and Demolition go to the address to which the truck is registered, which is a junkyard, and notice the same truck in the surveillance footage and some suspicious men who don't belong to the place, so Quan follows them. Going in a villa, he sees the men carry a huge base case out of the villa, after which a truck arrives and some men in coveralls get inside the house. The living room is covered in blood just like a murder scene, and they clean the blood, remove the furniture, and furnish the room as it used to be. At the same time, Demolition sees the suspicious men come back to the junkyard, carry a huge base case into a truck, which they change into a delivery truck, and leave, and he follows them. The truck entered a high security apartment, so Mr. Harry contacts the main server with the help of other members, and figures out the apartment number the suspicious men went in. While she deletes the surveillance footage of Quan and opens the door remotely, he goes in and finds out it's a Rising Star's house. He notices the huge base case, which contains the star, dead, covered in blood. Then Mr. Harry tells him to hide, and some people come in, and do their job with the body and the room, and leave. Quan, confused, looks at the star's body, which Chun Sang is watching through the hidden camera. It turns out that Chun Sang is an expert in fabricating murder cases of the super rich. He has a secret room where he can see all personal information and all surveillance footage even in real time. There, choosing someone in a lower class around the victim, he makes some story between them, and has his team collect the person's DNA and fingerprints, and create the crime scene. Chun Sang has his assistants get Deok-su out of jail as soon as possible. Mr. Harry figures out that the villa belongs to Chairman Chu, whose daughter and the dead star were spotted on a date last year. Quan asks her to find the person who the fingerprints belong to. Negative Space goes near her, and installs a spying app in her phone, and then Quan listens in to her every call all night. The next morning, someone calls her, whose voice is the same as the ones that asked him to bring her the phone at first. The caller says that she has her wallet, so wants her to come and take it back. Mr. Harry tells him to buy some time to trace the caller's location, but he's just trembling with anger, so she takes the phone and pretends to be a pervert, with which she succeeds in spotting the address. The moment he's about to catch the caller, a motorcycle sent by Chun Sang takes her and leaves, but then people recognize him and call the police. He follows the motorcycle, and soon the police follow him, during which his car breaks down, emitting smoke, when a huge truck makes a sudden stop between the police and Quan, and Deok-su knocks him down. After waking up, he's tortured by Deok-su, but not before long the police barge in, during which he runs away. Then Mr. Harry comes take him, but they're followed by Deok-su so quickly, so she goes through his pocket and finds a GPS in his mother's necklace. Agonizing, he throws it away out of the window. Quan and the members start to doubt Chun Sang, because he gave Quan the necklace, so Quan asks Master Yang to make a drone and flies it near Chun Sang's office. Hearing their conversation, Quan finds out Chun Sang was the puppet master. Demolition wants to tip him off to the police or the press, but the others disagree because they all seem to have conspired with him. Then Quan says he has an idea. Meanwhile, Chun Sang finds out that the scene is contaminated by Quan, so has his men clear the house, and create the crime scene again in another place deep in the suburbs. Finally, it's time for the fabricated case to be reported, when Chun Sang turns on the TV, which shows the real murderer waking up on the bed. Sneaking in the hospital where she was hiding, Quan made her faint and carried to the place. Going berserk, he goes into his secret room, and then Quan appears, beats him up, and starts to transfer all his data to a thumb drive, when Chun Sang reveals he made Quan's mother killed. Furious, Quan tries to kill him, but then Mr. Harry calls him, and he hears her and others screaming. Chun Sang says he knew Quan would come by now, so had Deok-su and his men take them hostage, so he rushes to them. At the moment Deok-su tries to shoot at Master Yang first, suddenly the light goes off, and in the dark, Quan scatters rice, and with the sound he beats up the gangsters. Running away, he's followed by so many cars of Deok-su and his men, and finds out he was made a murderer instead of the real one by Chun Sang. Anyway, he succeeds in arriving in the underground parking lot of the TV station, lets the others get off, and keeps driving inside. Setting off the fire alarm, Mr. Harry makes people go out and goes into the control room, and the others buy time for Mr. Harry to do her job, handling the chasing cars, but after a while, the police and the press swarm into the TV station, so everyone is caught except Mr. Harry. Watching it, Chun Sang jumps for joy, but then his computer freezes because Mr. Harry has transferred all the data and broken down his computer, using the thumb drive. From now on, Mr. Harry blocks regular news, and with the help of Cover and Concealment, who run an online channel for adults, broadcasts a live news report about all the fabricated murder cases by Chun Sang, including all the super rich involved. When the police come near, Chun Sang tries to run away, but the steering wheel is gone. The old man who helped Kwon in jail watches him on TV. Later, Chun Sang is brought to Deok-soo in jail, along with the men who were ordered to rape Kwon. The movie ends showing all the game members having a good time with Kwon, who sees his mother smiling. For more videos like this, remember to subscribe, and hitting the like button helps this channel continue. Thanks for watching.